Hi guys, so I made this cool toggle animation on Figma, and today I'm going to be sharing you the knowledge how I made this. If you notice, this is a 3D kind of animation. You can see the 3D effect, the 3D look. So we'll be creating ours from scratch. I already made this before. If you can look at the original file, I already made it somewhere here. But then we'll be recreating what I made. So the first thing you need to do is select the frame. So you select the frame. So I'm going to make this frame larger than my original, and you give it a background. So I'm taking the background color, and I'm giving it a border. I have to give it a border half the size to give it that circular feel to it. So next thing I'm doing is creating the yellow button you can see there. So to do this, I have to use the O button. So I press O and I create an ellipse. I need to reduce my ellipse because it's going to be in this frame, so it's too large. So all I just have to do is reduce it to say this size. Is this perfect? Okay, this looks good, but I would love to increase it to 50. So I'll take it up a bit to 50. Okay, 50. This looks fine. So I'll change my color to yellow, of course. So if you notice, on this original version we have a 3D look and feel to it. So we need to create this 3D look and feel. So what do we do? First, create an effect, an inner shadow effect, and for this I'll change this to 2, and then change this to say yellow, the exact color that we're using, and make it a lighter version just to give it that 3D vibe. Okay, let me zoom out so you can see it very well. So here we are with a 3D vibe. Okay, we're good to go. So we'll create another inner shadow for a more realistic effect. That one will be at the bottom here. So we'll create an inner shadow. You notice the inner shadow is showing on top, but we don't want it to be on top, so we are taking this to -2, and I'm setting the blur of this to 1. Okay, this looks great. So let me go to the one on top. Should I set the blur to 1 too? Yes, the blur to 1, and then probably this to 1 too. So here we go. This is what we look like. This is what we look like right now. So we are creating at the moment. So we have our 3D yellow button set for us already. It's as simple as that, no stress. So we need to create our clouds now. If you look at this design, we have clouds here and effects. So, well, let's first create the first. Let's first work with these guys here. So to do this, we create another ellipse using the O again. O, select an ellipse, and let me see. I'm going to send this in here. Does it look large enough? It doesn't matter. Let me just work with this and change the pass-through of this to 50%, or let me work with 20%. 20%, okay, fine. And then I duplicate that. So the duplicate will be lesser, be smaller than the original version. So make it smaller. All right, you see, all going to be aligned together. Then make the third one and make it smaller too. So here we go. So we select all of them and Ctrl G. So we've grouped all of them together. Notice we group. The beauty of grouping them together is we can always resize. That's the beauty of grouping them. If we had framed them together, it would be difficult for us to resize. We have to resize them individually. But because we are grouping them, it will be easy for us to resize. So let's see. See, I'm able to resize this. So now let's send it into our frame. If you notice, it's staying on top of our yellow button. We don't want that, so we have to send it to the back. So if we've sent it to the back, and then I need to increase the size because I need it to be larger than this. So here we go. We increase the size to something like this, and okay, still need to increase the size a bit. I think so. Okay, increasing the size. Okay, that's perfect. We're good to go this way. I think so. So now we need to create the other cloud elements. So ellipse also, press the O button, and I'm going to reduce this. I'm going to reduce this to say 50. Okay, let's see what 50 gives us. Yes, and then we duplicate this using Ctrl D. We duplicate, and we're creating our slide. So you keep duplicating to you have your moon. However way you want to make your move, however your moon, however way you want to style it, that's up to you. So this is just my own design. You can do better than I am doing right now. I'm just rushing this through, you understand, because it's a tutorial. I don't want to take too much of your time. So I'm going to select all of them, all the ellipse, and group them together. Ctrl G to group, don't forget that. Ctrl G, I've grouped them together. I'm going to duplicate them. So I duplicate them, and first of all, before I duplicate them, let me undo that. I use Ctrl Z to undo. So this original group, if you notice, is coming on top. It's not supposed to be so. It's coming on top of the yellow button. So we are going to send it to the back. We send it to the back. Okay, perfect. So we duplicate. So our duplicate, we move our duplicate upwards, and then give it a pass through of 50%. Okay, pass through of 50%, or should we go with 20%? Okay, 50% is fine. That's good. So notice that we used the pass through for the group, not the individual ellipse. So if you look closely at this, the shadow we're seeing at this initial one, this first one that we made here, you can notice that there's some sort of shadow effect. The shadow is not showing here because we used the whole group, not individually. So this one we worked individually with the pass through. That is why it is having that shadow effect. In case you're confused, someday you're designing and you see that. So that's why. So this group, we move it up a bit to style it. Okay. I like the way my design looks already. So now look at this. We need to create a drop shadow, but we can't do a drop shadow just like that on the ellipse. We have to frame this guy. Why are we framing this guy? You find out shortly. So what I just have to do is frame this yellow guy. Frame him, and it's framed now. Frame is taking the exact size of the ellipse in it, and then what I want to do is make sure the frame has a 25 border radius. That's half of the height here, as you can see. So now we are going to give the frame a drop shadow. If we had given the ellipse a drop shadow, and the drop shadow will not show because it's inside the frame. You understand? It will show, of course, but then if you put this border radius that we already put, this 25 border radius that we already put for the original frame, it's not going to show. But if we don't put it, it's going to show, but it's going to be in a boxed format. So we don't want that. That is why we are not using the shadow for the original ellipse. So here we go. We do that. We do a drop shadow, or by clicking on our effects, drop shadow. Okay, fine. This is our drop shadow here. So I need to just tweak it a bit to make some sense. The x-axis, I put it at 4 because it's moving in the right direction. So the x-axis gets some numbers. You understand? So that's pretty much it. So as you can see, we have our frame and we have our yellow button. Now, there's something interesting. Let's go back to play the animation. If we play the animation, you notice something. It feels like, let's do that again. See, it feels like the frame moves and it joins at some point with the moon. So this yellow button is the sun actually, and then this guy is the moon here. So how did we achieve this? How is this possible? It looks too 3D like, something that Figma doesn't really allow you to do. So for you to do that, you just have to duplicate the ellipse. Yes. So I'm going to duplicate the ellipse inside that frame using Ctrl D. Now notice this is my second ellipse, and I'm moving it as far as the center here. Okay, let's put it so, and then we change the color, we tweak it, change the color to the moon color. So here we go. And then we need to change of course we need to change what's it called, our 3D feel and look. So inner shadow, okay, not this one. Inner shadow, this one has to take like a lighter version of our moon. I don't like our moon is too dark. We are going to work on our moon. I'm going to change the color of our moon. Let me change the color of the moon right now. Say yes, this looks good. Okay, I think this looks good. So here we go. So we need to, the moon is not smooth. The moon is not perfect. So we need to create all those tiny things in the moon. So how do I do this? All I just have to do is press the O, and yeah, I get my ellipse, but it's too large, so I need to reduce it to a very small number, say 10 by 10. 10 by 10, okay, perfect. Control D that, make this one 5 by 5. Control D that, make it okay, let's leave that at 5 by 5 and duplicate this again. I'm just creating a new version. In my original version, there are just three of them, you understand? But here we are just, you need to do things differently to make your work look original most times. So I put this at 7. 7 is fine. So here we go, different placements. What do I want to do? I want to change the colors of this guy. Notice that these guys are like, it's just an ellipse. So we need to group all of them. All these other ellipses I made are outside of them. So I need to move them back into that frame. I need to move them into that frame rather, not back, because we didn't move them before. Move them into that frame. So I'm going to group it using Ctrl J. So we've successfully grouped our moon. So you see, successfully grouped the moon. The moon is still in the frame while this guy is still an ellipse. This guy right here is still an ellipse. So we're going to, do I need to tweak this guy? Okay, I think it's fine this way. Our moon, okay, maybe we should go back to our dark mode moon. I think the darker mode, it makes more sense. All right, like this is fine. Right, okay, this looks great, this looks good, we're good to go. Let me change the ellipse. I want it to look a lot more realistic than it's looking right now, so I just have to, where's this guy coming from? Oh, the original version. Okay, so here we go. We have our elements of the moon. Now one thing we want to do is we want to clip this frame, so this young man here is not going to show, right? This young man here is showing because it's not clipped. So let me clip that frame and let's see what happens. I clip it, you see that the young man there doesn't show anymore. He's no longer existent. It feels like he's not there, but he's actually there. So that's, if you play the animation, that is where the guy is hiding. You can see the guy is hiding somewhere there in the middle. Do you get? So that's pretty much a very smart move there that we did, just to hack this thing and give it that 3D effect. So moving on, we successfully created our first moon. So we have to duplicate, our day mode, we have to duplicate this to make the night mode. I've duplicated this, and now what do I want to do in this second place? what I want to do is I want to take out, I want to reduce this guy. We are not deleting it. This two guys here, these two groups, cloud groups, we are not deleting them, so we are just sending them, we are just taking them downwards. You see that? Perfect. And in this frame, we are going to be moving the yellow away from the frame and introducing the what's it called, the moon. So let me introduce the moon by moving them. You see, I move both of them and the moon is in the picture now. Perfect. We have a perfect moon in the picture, right? So I have to come down here because this guy is not centralized. So yes, now we're good. And then I move this guy to this other direction. It's a toggle, so we're moving it to this other direction. But I'm not particularly cool with something here. You notice the drop shadow is moving to the x-axis. I mean, the drop shadow on the x-axis doesn't really look good. So I want to move it to. I want to reduce the x-axis to -4 to move it to my left. Yeah, we're good. -4, moving it to my left. So that's that on that. But we are missing some other things, which is the inner shadow for this original to make it more or less a 3D look. You can see this original has, an inner shadow just to make it a 3D. But we'll get there. We are not done yet. So I'm moving this guy to this direction. This other group to this direction. Now let's play our animation again and let me show you what that does. See. So you see, we'll move it to that direction. Perfect. So I've moved it to the other direction and I think we're good to go. And then I changed my background from the sky is blue to the sky is dark at night. Okay, I think this is fine. Yes, this is fine. You understand now. So, but then if you are looking at this our moon is not exactly having a great 3D feel, so we have to change it a bit. We have to tweak a couple of things here. I want to work on this guy here. Exactly, this is the problem. It's adopting the same color of the moon, so we have to make it a lighter version. Okay, and then I probably will move the x-axis. I probably create an x-axis from the left. See this? 1 1. Boom, we're good to go. That's perfect. So we're looking to achieve. So now I need to create the inner shadow that would make this have the 3D look. So we select the first frame and then we add our effect, our inner shadow. So 4 is fine. I reduce the blur to 2. Okay, 2 is or 1. Let's work with 2 for now. But then I have to change this to I think I need to move it close to blue. A deep blue, a deep one. Just for alignment purposes. You understand? So that's that. Yeah. And on this guys on my x-axis I'm going to create, yes. Okay, let me work with 2 for the x-axis. So 4 for the y-axis, 2 for the x-axis. Then I'm going to create another inner shadow again. So this one is going to be for the bottom. Notice in the first inner shadow we used a dark color. In this one we use a lighter version for that dark color. Let me get the color code that we used for that. So we'll apply it here too. So now we are applying that color code 25%. And it's going to take a -4 or -2, -4, a blur of 2 or 1, whichever one we want to use. But I'm going with 1, and I'm making my y-axis a 2. Okay, let's make it 4. and then the x-axis -2, -2, -2. What did we use in the first instance? Okay, 2 and 4. So -2, -4. Let's work like that. Okay, this is good, but I'm not liking the bottom. Oh, we didn't change the color of the bottom. Okay, yeah, we need to take this up a notch. Take it to a lighter version of the blue, just to give it that realistic vibe. Get what I mean? Okay, I think we are good. I'll reduce the Y. I need to reduce the Y. It's looking too large. I reduce it to 2. Okay. Blur. Should we increase the blur? Okay. The blur is increased to 2. So I have to do the same thing here. I don't want to replicate that. It will take too much time. So I just have to do is save this. All I just have to do is press that and hit the plus button and save it 3D now. And then I come down here and I apply it 3D inner. However, if you notice, the blue that we used up here is showing because we are using the same style. So we need to disconnect this. We need to detach it. So we click on the chain here and detach. So once we detach, we go up here, change this blue to a gray, probably a light version, yes, and then change the second inner shadow to a gray, and it should be the dark version. It should be a dark. Okay, let's try a light version and see what it gives us. Okay, a dark version will be better. So there we go. A dark version. We just need to tweak it a bit to give it that strong feel. Where is it? Is this it? Okay, I think this is it. I'll just increase this to probably 100. Let me see what 100 gives me. Yes, 100 is good for this guy. 100 is good for him. Here we go. So perfect. We have this guy here. I'll probably do 100 for the bottom too. Let me see what the bottom would look like with 100. Does it make any sense? No, it doesn't. It's looking like it's giving it this glossy feel. We don't want a glossy feel, so no. So let's take it back to 25%. So here we go, right? Simple as ABC. We are literally done, almost done. So now we need to add our stars. What's a night without a star? So let's create our stars. I'll use a plugin icon doc to get my star. Then all I just have to do is search for star, and we'll see a lot of star up here. Oh, we're already seeing this, but we don't want to work with this because this has a 3D look. We need a flat guy. Okay, yes, this guy would do the job. So we pick him out and we paste him here. So it's literally there. Change the color. Let's tweak the color a bit to a lighter version. Not white. Don't use a perfect white. Using perfect white isn't great. So we're going to be using a gray that matches with the moon. So now what I want to do is I want to duplicate these guys in here. Ctrl D and then spread them and probably reduce the size. Sorry about that. Probably reduce the size. Let me lock them so I get an equal sizing. Okay, perfect. Ctrl D that again and move it to a different direction. So you keep doing your thing. Just keep, duplicating, and so you get your total, the vibe you are looking at achieving, right? The design you are looking at achieving. So bring this down. Okay, too small. Okay, perfect. Take this guy somewhere like here. Take this guy somewhere like here. Take this guy somewhere like here. Ctrl D and reduce, lock and reduce. So here we go. So that everything is beginning to fall in place. Design really isn't stressful. You just have to, walk around how to bit the system, how to hack the system literally. So here we go. Okay, I think that's good. I think that's good. Yes, this is good. What else do we need to do? I think that's all for now. This is pretty much great for now. So we select the two frames, right? After selecting them, we create a component set out of them. So just do this and create a component set. Yes. So these two are variants in this component. So I'll name this component toggle. So we prototype now. Smart Animate is the bomb. Yeah, a lot of people use ProtoPie and other form of prototyping tools, but Figma has really upgraded Smart Animate the prototyping options, and it's really good. So we create a connection from the first one to the second one. On click, okay, we don't want to use the whole frame. That's wrong because it's a toggle, but we can use the whole frame anyways. Let's work with it that way. So on click, Smart Animate slow 600, or let's make this 1000. We can try different options. You can use ease in and out. You can use this, but I prefer slow in this case because slow gives it a great feel. So I'm putting it at 1000 milliseconds. Smart Animate 1000 milliseconds, and then I do the same thing, creating a connection that leads to the first frame again. And here we go, slow 600 milliseconds. Perfect. On click 600 milliseconds. So let's test what we built now on our frame. Sorry about that. We do that. We hold Alt and move it to your frame. Oh, sorry, I didn't hold Alt. I was holding Shift. You hold Alt and move it to your frame. For Mac users, I think it's Alt you hold to for Mac users. I think so. So here we go. Let's test what we built. You see that? Do you see that? So we've successfully done what we did here. The only difference I'm seeing is probably the timing. Let me see how many milliseconds I used for this guy. I think the timing isn't right. Okay, let's come here and see how many milliseconds did I use. We type on click 600. Okay, so no, we shouldn't use 1000. We should be using 600. Okay, that's 600. Okay, it's 600. Okay. So what could be wrong? I'm not getting that smooth feel because something is going wrong. Something is happening somewhere. Let me unclip this and see. Okay, I think this is where the problem is. This guy here. So I need to move this guy in this direction, and let's see if that will work. Let's hope it works. Okay, I think it does work. There you go. We have our moon and our sun, our day night and our nights. Our daylight and our night mode, our day and light mode, basically. So that's pretty much that about that. Thanks for watching this video. Please do well to subscribe if you enjoyed watching this video.